Today I want to show you how to add perspective to your drawing in CorelDraw. I was working on a sign today and I thought it would be really cool to make a video about this because I didn't know about adding perspective to a object until just a couple days ago. So I wanted to jump on here and show everybody how I found out how you can do this. So I'm going to open my Corel here. This sign, so this is actually going to be an angled sign. It's going to kind of be angled like a triangle with the point being straight in the middle here, and then the other two pieces are going to be like back a little bit. So I want to show the customer that we are doing that angle for them. So here I already did my drawing of my kind of outline and my shape for the actual sign. And then I selected all of my objects and I did group them together. So you can add the perspective to the objects when they are grouped together. You don't have to ungroup and do every piece individually, which is really nice. So I have them all grouped together here, and then I'm gonna go to Object, and then I'm gonna go to Perspective, and then Add Perspective. So that kind of creates this red outline around all of the grouped objects, and then it's going to make your cursor a little different, so you're going to notice that it's black and it's like a little bit of a different triangle point. And then from there, I'm just going to grab, you can see also when you go down to one of the corners, it kind of turns into like that plus sign cursor. So I'm going to go down to the corner here, and I'm just going to push this leg back because I just want to show that it's not straight with the legs in the front. So I'm going to click and I'm going to hold on it and I'm going to drag it straight back, and I'm not going to move the vertical line. So we're only moving the bottom horizontal line. We're not going to like pull this vertical line out at all. You want to make sure that stays like exactly straight with your object. And I'm just going to push it back a little bit, and you can see as soon as I let go of my mouse, I let go of the clicker, it's going to drop right down and add that perspective to the sign itself. So I'm going to click off of it here, and there you go. Like, it's already got that perspective to it. We're going to do a few more things so I can just show you a couple more tools that I use in Corel, but I'm going to do the same thing to the other side now. And now this is going to be important because you want them to obviously be even, right? So we're going to do the same thing. These objects are already grouped together. So we're going to go to Object, Perspective, Add Perspective, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to click that bottom bottom square there, and we're going to drag it back. Now, how do you know, right? How do you know if this is going to be even? So I don't know if you know this tool also in Corel, but if you click on your ruler bar up here and you click and you drag down, you'll actually drag out a perfectly straight line, a horizontal line, and you can also do it on your vertical one as well. So I clicked and I'm going to drag it down and I'm going to drop it right here in the corner of this back post over here. Then I'm going to scroll in. I scroll on my mouse to zoom in and out. So after you click down and you drag it down and you drop it, you can always click it and move it up or down, but it's always going to stay perfectly straight until you delete the line. So I'm going to drop it right here in this back corner. It doesn't have to be completely perfect because it's far enough away, but we see how off I was. I mean, I thought I was pretty on and I'm not. So let's see. Here we're going to double click because this has the perspective on it still, and I'm going to click back on that square and keep dragging it back till I get that line pretty much in this corner where we want it here. So I scroll out, and then you can see now both sides of that sign have that perspective to it, and the legs are even on both sides. So I can click, and you used to be able to click and drop it back up to the bar, but now if you just click on it and just hit your delete button, it'll actually just delete it for you. So the other thing now that's kind of an issue, because when the sign was in one spot, we were just showing it here that this pole is actually only one pole, so it's one 4x4 pole here, and now it looks like a 4x4 pole now. It has that dimension to it, but it looks a little off. But we're gonna add these poles back here. We're gonna add more perspective to that, but it's not really perspective, so it's actually gonna be the tool over here. We're gonna extrude the posts. It's a little different. So we can ungroup these objects now that they have the perspective to them, and they're not going to change, they're not going to go back to normal. Once you add that perspective, I don't even think you can delete it after. You would have to like undo anything to go back. But I ungroup these objects over here, and I'm going to grab this post, and I'm going to go over here to my toolbar on the left side, and I'm going to click extrude. So when I go here, I'm going to click and hold and drag out a perfectly straight, like out to the left post, well, the back of the post, I guess, and drop that. And then here it's going to give us, it's going to show that we also kind of added dimension to that post now. So there's a couple different things that you could do. If you want to just do it the easy way, you could just do the angle, and you want the bottom to look good because that's the only part that's going to be seen. Now you can tell that that post is like a 4x4 post. It has dimension to it. The only thing, but now if I take this sign and I move it, you could see the top of the post is not straight and it looks kind of funny. So if you just need the bottom to show that way, that's a good way of doing it. But you could also, you could always double click too to get back into those objects when you want to change them. So if you do drag it perfectly straight out, if you move this slider bar here, this is kind of tricky because these objects are so small or so skinny, but if you slide that slider in, you could tell, see it's like super close to the actual box here. But if you do that, it should make the top of your posts look even too, and then you can always go back and add your post caps or something like that later. So see, now it looks a little bit better. It looks like an actual post instead of, I don't know what was going on before back there. But yeah, now we're gonna add that to over here. So I'm gonna ungroup these objects and I'm gonna click off of them and click my extrude button again and go over to the post, and you just click and drag out on it. Maybe click and drag out. Yeah, so we could do perfectly straight out, and then we can zoom in and move this bar in, and that way it'll be even on the top. Oh, it's still kind of not even. Sometimes they're a little funky. It does take a little bit to mess with stuff and kind of get it perfect, but CorelDraw is definitely a way better drawing application than most of the other ones that I've used, especially in the sign industry, because everything is all of your measurements, which I actually found out the other day too. Here's a little secret. I don't know if you know this, but I will show you. I just learned the other day that you can actually put feet in for your measurements instead of inches, and it'll convert it for you. I've been using CorelDraw for 10 years and I didn't know this. I always took my calculator out, converted everything to inches, back ways and forward, whatever, both ways. And I just found out the other day, see how this says 46 inches up here? You could type in 4 feet and hit enter, and it'll convert it to 48 inches. And that's the best thing I think I've ever learned in Corel, because me having to use a calculator every 5 seconds to calculate a measurement, I mean, embarrassing, yes, but also very helpful. So this one is kind of coming out a little funky, but I'm just gonna make sure that the bottom here is looking good, because that's all we're gonna see. And I think it's the perspective that's kind of just making it like a little wobbly there. I don't know what's going on down there. Anyway, you can see now that this obviously is going to be on a ground where this post is in the front, these two are in the back. The sign is angled on both sides, and then once we add that writing to there and the design of the sign, they'll be able to see it on both sides. And we'll also add the perspective. We can either convert this right back to the flat one and add the design and then add the perspective again. I mean, it's so easy. That probably took us a total of 5 minutes to do that. So very helpful tool. I think that's a newer tool on the new CorelDraw upgrades like that have come out. This is the 2024 version, I believe. I'm subscribed to it, so I get the updates every time they come out. Pretty much every year they come out with like a new version, and you have to upgrade it. So I've used a bunch of different ones, different versions of Corel, and this one is my favorite so far with the extra tools that you have. Yeah, we can go on about that in other videos, but for right now, today we learned adding perspective to an object, how to extrude an object. We learned how to use our ruler bar here, and we also learned that we can convert inches into feet without having to get a calculator out. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, please subscribe, please follow me on my social media outlets. I'm trying to make a lot more videos based off CorelDraw, sign stuff, all kinds of different things. I also do a lot of financial stuff. But yeah, follow and let me know if you want to see any other videos, because I would be more than happy to make them for you. I'm trying to spread the awareness and I guess more knowledge about CorelDraw and some of the other applications.